Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to EBV NATCON Business Plan Competition Lab, Office Hours number 6, and titled Operations and Logistics. My name is Elis Avdic, and today we'll be covering 4 sections of the business plan, and you'll get to ask questions on them. So today we're going to have questions on section 6 of the business plan, which is design and development plan. We're going to have section 7 of the business plan, which is operations plan. We're gonna go over a little bit about section 9, which is overall schedule, and section 10 of the business plan, which are critical risk, problems, and assumptions. So let me just run very quickly over about each and every section, then I'll open up the floor for questions. So in section 6, the design and developing plan, this section I would recommend only for individuals that have they're like coming up with a new product or service they're introducing to the market. Because if you're a retail store or if you're service that is already out there, just tweak it a little bit, you can skip this section and continue to operations plan and include any little details that you might thought will go in and developing and plan. So the design development plan is usually for individuals that have, copywriting, intellectual property, protection. So in this section, you would just want to, state, development stages, like where you're at with developing your product or service, how far are you, what else you have to do, identify difficult risks that you're facing with this development product or services, how are you planning to improve this product in the future and make it continue, to be the best in the market. Look at the cost associated with it, how much is it costing you, like when it's going to be like time. You also want to look into, property, how you're going to patent it, like when you're going to apply for patent, how much it's going to cost you, trademark it, and things like that. So that being said, if that section doesn't apply to you, you just want to skip into operations plan, and this section of the business plan is very important as it shows how will you be running your business and how will you be delivering your products or services to the end user or your customers. So in this section, you do want to talk about pretty much how you operate your business. So if you manufacturing business, make sure you include policies on inventory control, purchasing, production control, what parts of the product will be purchased, what functions will be outsourced, and what operations will be performed by your workforce. In this section, you have, just a regular operation, model or cycle, like what's on the front end, what's in the back end. Then you go into, operation strategy. You describe the management of the manufacturing process involved in production of your products and services. You also have, geographic location. You include that, how is that going to work with your facility equipment improvements that you're going to utilize. The Torrents had a pretty good examples in the video that you watched on YouTube, so I'm not going to go that much into this. Then we go to section 9, which is overall schedule, and this is section I would not recommend skipping this section, because if you skip this section, a lot of judges, investors might look at you and think to themselves that you're not a person who has assumed the risks. So in here, you just want to list all the potential risks within your business and how you plan on handling it, like that you assume the risk and you know that this risk exists. For example, if I have let's say a restaurant and I'm selling these amazing cookies, so my risk is, there's a risk, something might go wrong and somebody might choke, right? Or so like how did I assume this risk, and how am I planning on handling, protecting myself? Like what insurance am I gonna get? Am I gonna get serve-safe certificate? Like am I gonna follow protocols of doing this stuff? So like those are type of things that you have to list. I mean, in nuts and bolts, it's really good, examples out there and how you should go about doing it. Oh, I'm sorry. So that will be in section 10, critical risk and problem assumptions. So you also want to, discuss any, like risks with revenue forecast, pricing. So if I say, I price per cookie, $1.50, why is that, important? Like if somebody does say, like, why do you price $1.50 if all the competition is pricing at $1? So you want to make sure, like, you say, okay, my assumption is this. Maybe my agreement is better, or based on my research that I conducted, or based on my surveys, people are willing to pay a lot higher. So that will be section 10, critical risks, problems and assumptions, and you have section 9, overall schedule. Now, this schedule is about like up to 3 years, but first year, make sure you do each month. Like, what are some of your plans that you're looking to do with your business? Like, for example, I'm gonna, become LLC in June, and then you're gonna say, like, when are you gonna plan on, getting into space? When are you planning on renovating your space, or when are you planning on hiring? When are you looking to, make your first sales or grand opening? So things like that, like plan it out, like for first year every month, and then second year, third year, you can just do like overall, just like important information for there. Besides that, that's just very quickly. Now I'm gonna open up the floor for questions, because you can ask me anything you want in these 4 sections and previous sections as well. Okay, do we have any questions? Hey Eva, how are you?
Doing good. I'm trying to get my mind straight real quick. Give me 1 second and I'll ask you a question. I know I have one.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, you can ask me for previous sessions as well.
Oh, I mean, you said that dealing with services that are already in the market. So do I even have to go into details on that? That first part?
The design and development plan?
Yeah, because we're not reinventing the wheel. We're just
so you can skip this section and go into operations plan immediately. And if you're looking to do like use any of the like computers or some kind of software that's out there, you can just include in operations plan. So if this is like if this is not really new, like you don't have to go into development and operations plan, because it's more of a like how much
restaurant service. It's just doing it differently.
Yeah. So you can mention in operations plan, definitely. So for you can skip this section.
All right, that saves time.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just want to remind everyone out there that everything is due on December 7th at 11:59 p.m. So make sure you work on your business plans, make sure you submit all the information required, and make sure you're registered for the EBV NATCON. So welcome, Fritz. How are you?
Doing well. Sorry, I'm late getting to the.
No problem. Do you have any questions in regards to 4 sections of the business plan that we're covering today, which is Section 6, Design and Development Plan, Section 7, Operational Plan, Section 9 is Overall Schedule, and Section 10, Critical Risks and Assumptions. So those are the 4 sections that you can ask questions on, or previous sessions that we have covered.
I have a question. Oh, sorry, go ahead. You first, because I already.
No, go ahead.
This is kind of a back question. I was struggling with it last week in the marketing analysis part. When I'm targeting the restaurants, right, for competitors, am I building a SWOT analysis for them or building the SWOT analysis for me? Because there's a spot in there that says SWOT analysis of competitors, but.
So I would do both, so that way you can compare your competitive advantage. Because remember I mentioned to you, you can do like a little like X kind of chart to determine. So here, let me show you. Let me use a piece of paper so I can show to you what I mean by that. Just a second. Okay, so you can go like this. I hope you're gonna see it, but so can you see that? So you can make a chart like this and then go list like a bullet point like all the strengths of the competitor, all the weaknesses, opportunities they have, what are some threats they are afraid of. So you can do something like this, and once you have your list down all the strengths they have, all the weaknesses they have, all the opportunities they're not using or they have, all the threats they're afraid of and things like that, like new entries. You can list on all of your competitors and then do it on yourself as well, and then you can say see, these are their weaknesses, that's my strength, so you can make sure maybe you can demonstrate your advantage, competitive advantage over them based on those charts. So it is okay to do on yourself as well if you want to.
Okay.
Okay, Elvis, I had two questions. The first one is in reference to the management team in the organization. We're doing a bit of a restructure. I'm bringing on two other people, and we're, as far as titles, positions, responsibilities, that's going to change, but not until after January 1st. Do I put in what it is now and what it's going to be then, or am I forecasting what it's going to be? I just talked to a lawyer yesterday about how we're making sure this is all structured legally and everything, so we know we're going to do it. I just need to know for this particular section, do I reach back, or am I just from January forward?
So what you can do is, we're going to cover this section later on, but what you can do is keep it as it is, but in the overall schedule in the section 9, let's say if you're going to change these positions in January or in March, make sure you put that in the overall schedule, like it's a plan. So overall schedule of your business plan, it's in section 9, and that will put a plan throughout 3 years. So first year has to be like very detailed every month, like what are some of the things that you're going to be doing. So like for example, I'm going to become LLC in June. I'm going to get into my place by July. I'm going to have my first order out by this date, right? So in that schedule, you can put down management teams updates, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, right?
Okay, and that brings me to my second question, which is reference to the overall schedule. We, first opened our doors in July of 14 and have spent this last year building the business base, building the product, which for us are training courses, and now we're getting into the marketing phase. In that timeline, on the overall schedule, I'm assuming I go back to July 1st of 2014 and what our goals were and what were met, and then move forward from there. Or am I starting now?
I would recommend that you start with a little paragraph before you start into schedule and just tell them what happened and where you're at, and then start from the fresh, like from January, what are you going to be doing.
Okay, so do a recap
Moving
of what's
forward.
happened
Yes.
up until now, and then detailed to where we're going forward. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Thanks.
No problem.
And on that
okay, go ahead.
All right. On that overall, this timeline thing, the way I have it set up right now, I don't know if this is acceptable, but do I have to go into more detail than that right there?
I have a hard time seeing it, but
it's almost like an Excel spreadsheet, and it's highlighted on the months.
Yeah.
But it says what each step is, like incorporation status. We want it to be done by February 2016. But it doesn't go into much more detail. It's just slotted points. Is that okay?
Yeah, that'll be fine. I mean, if you watch the previous video of John Torrance, I mean, he had a pretty nice laid out. It's very simple, not difficult to read. But if for your own purposely, if you want to some even more detail, you can always have it for your appendixes, for your own detailed more information, on each month. How am I gonna go about doing it? What's involved.
Okay.
But just for this operational plan, you can just have January and just basic 1, 2, 3 sentences of saying what are you gonna be doing in that month.
Okay.
And February, same thing. Basic 3 says for year 2 and 3, you're just gonna do year 2 and just recap what are you gonna be achieving in that year, and same thing for year 3, so you don't have to go into months.
Okay.
For the first year, you do have to. Okay. Does that answer your questions?
That's all that I have.
Okay, that's good, guys. So make sure, like I mentioned, fits to Ava, the section on design and development plan. If you're not inventing a new product or a service, you can skip this section and continue in operations plan. Go straight to the operations plan, the business plan. Because this plan is only for individuals that have, intellectual property to protect and are coming up with a new product that they have to, identify, where are they with the development, like what are some things they have to do, how much it's going to cost them, how they're going to continue improving their services, like are they filed a patent, like what's the cost for that, trademark secrets and things like that.
For that, we've like I said, we're developing specific, unique courses that address a training need within the military training infrastructure, and in order to get them to pay for this outside of the system, it has to be something that's unique. So we've already had to write up the justification of what it is, why it's unique. We have like our case studies and scenarios. We're working to get those copyrighted so they become intellectual property. That means it's not only unique, it's unique to us. And if you want to use that, you have to come to us. And we're capturing, I've already had to write that up as part of what we present to organizations to get them to take a look at this. And that's what I've pulled from to put this section together. I think that's appropriate.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So operations plan, I would spend time on that one because that's the whole plan how you really run your business from, like front to the end. And so basically, like, I mean, you're gonna say all the, production, delivery, everything is gonna be included in that. So, like, overall operations, like how you're gonna operate. For example, in Eva's restaurant, she's gonna have to do, like how she gonna make the food, how she gonna, utilize, bring in, suppliers, like how she gonna deliver, bring in supplies, like is she gonna order it, when she gonna order it, like how she gonna manage inventory. So because she has some kind of like a restaurant thing, so she has to like demonstrate all that in operations plan, like how she gonna keep track of everything.
Is
So
this
go
what
ahead.
you're talking about when you said I needed to focus on the customer service part?
That's in marketing strategy, which is definitely like how you're gonna provide marketing service. But in here, you can always say like, okay, these are individuals that are gonna be trained on the customer service, and this is like they're gonna go every 5 minutes. They're gonna ask like in the operations plan, you can say every 5 minutes, my waiter will go to the table and ask, do they need anything else? For example, something like that. Like that's the operation plan. How's your customer service gonna operate based on like service of the tables? In a marketing plan, it's more of a like what they're gonna do, in terms of like strategy to make sure they're comfortable there sitting,
Okay.
So that's how that differentiates.
Okay.
So like in marketing strategies, like a service, like how satisfied are they with the service? Can I help you and things like that. Operations plan is like how often they go there. How long do they wait for their food? Things like that.
Okay.
Okay, guys. I also want to remind you that executive summaries, when we start getting to that, there shouldn't be more than 2 pages.
Could it
So
be
just,
1 page, or does it have to be 2 pages?
it can be 1 page,
Okay.
but it should not exceed 2 pages.
And that is the last thing that we write of this, correct?
Yes, because first you gotta have a business plan to be able to summarize it, right? So usually that's why it's written last, but it's first because it's a very snapshot. It's a summary.
Oh, and I had a question. Oh, when this
Go ahead.
about cost controls on, I think, the financial plan section 11. Is that where I would talk about like the POS systems and like the beverage tracking systems and stuff like that?
Yeah, cost control. You also, yeah, you're gonna include all your systems that you're gonna be using for it, but also it's like how you maintain to do like to minimize the cost or maintain the cost of your products. For example, you're gonna have probably fresh vegetables all the time, right? So you don't want to order so many tomatoes that they rotten out, so that you lose money. So you want to make sure, like, how do I order? Do I order from local store, like from local farm that they bring in certain amount, because I know I can sell that amount and it will not go bad. So like that kind of thing, like how you can do the cost control on that. Or for example, lights, like do I shut the lights or do I run the same equipment all the time so to maintain the electricity at the same bill?
Okay.
It's that type of thing, but also utilizing systems and other things.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Everyone watching out there, I just want to remind you again. December 7th is a deadline for submissions at 11:59 p.m. Make sure you have registered to attend EBV NetCon. Make sure you complete an intent to compete form, entrance certificate form, and submit your executive summary with your last dash first initial executive summary. That's how you name your PDF files, and a business plan, which is last name, lower dash, your first initial, and business plan. So all that is due December 7th, no later than 59 p.m. Any other questions? Because our next session is on Wednesday, and you can watch the section 7 on the YouTube, and it's going to be on financials. That's what we're going to be covering the next class. Like I say, if you have any other questions from previous sessions, just let me know, because it's a good time. Like I say, you can always email me at eabdic@syr.edu with any questions, or if you want me to review any session, just forward it to me and I'll provide you with some feedback. Any other questions, Eva?
So could we send you like a portion if we want of the business plan if we're struggling with that one part?
Yes. I'll take a look at it and I'll give you
the entire thing, but I at least like paragraphs that I'm like, hey, I can't figure out how I'm supposed to word this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll accept that.
Okay. Well, in that case, I don't have another question.
Okay. Okay, Mike, we'll give another minute before we...
Okay, sounds good.
No more questions on YouTube or...
No on YouTube or the event page.
So how's the business plan coming along?
It's getting a lot easier.
Getting a lot easier? That's good to hear. Remember, guys, you always have examples on an EBV website of the business plan. Like, we have 3 examples, so make sure you look at them, because they're really good examples utilizing nuts and bolts. So you can always take advantage of that. See how they did their section. So it'll give you some idea on a write-up. Okay, guys, I guess that's it. Thank you very much for tuning in, and our next section is going to be Wednesday. So that's going to be the 18th, I believe, right? Yep.
Hey, quick question, Elvis.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not going to be linked in on Wednesday. I'm flying out to San Antonio that day. These are recorded, correct? I imagine there's a lot of people. That's how they're watching these.
Yes, they're recorded, but for this section, if you have any questions, you can always post them ahead of time. I will send you the links to the Google Hangouts earlier. So if you do have any questions on an upcoming section of financials, you can just leave them in a comment box.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Thanks, because I'm sure I will have
Yeah.
some stupid question or another. Thank you.
No question is stupid. You know, if you don't ask, the answer will always be no. How do they say? So it's good. Yeah, just leave the questions, and then I'll be able to address them here live, so that when you watch it pre-recorded, you can see the answers to your questions.
Awesome.
So that's I will always recommend to everyone. I believe we can do that. So
Yeah, they can do that right out on the Google event page, Elvis.
yeah.
Just
So
type questions, and we'll make sure to relay them to you during the session.
yeah. So when I send you the event for the Hangouts, you can just click there and leave in a comment all the questions that you have. I'll usually be sending you there Monday or so.
Great. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Thank you guys for being in.
Thank you.
Okay, if you're all set, Elvis, I'll go ahead and close out the hangout.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Have a good day.